Let me create the CDS view by right-clicking the data definitions node, click new definition. CDS view with parameter functions. Specify the transport, click next and select the template which says define view with parameter and click finish. We'll change the name of the SQL view name. Change the name of the parameters also. Let me call it IamCur and the type is abap.gucky. Length is 5. So I got all the 3 parameters. Now let me change the data source name. We'll select data from as book table and I'll just press Ctrl space for code completion to insert all the fields. I'm not going to use all the fields. We'll just delete some of the fields. Smoker, customer type. I'll not use this. I'll not use the invoice and class also. Now let me put this order date after okay, there's some problem. I'll do control space. Okay, that is corrected. Now it gives a warning saying the parameters are not used for all 3 parameters. Let me introduce the first function. Control space. There's a function called days between, which takes 2 date parameter and converts the difference, calculates the difference between the dates. So I'm going to use a fill date and order date just to calculate the difference as number of days. Let me remove this also. Now I'll use the second function to convert the unit, which is unit underscore conversion. I'm just typing unit underscore and pressing control space. So it gives me this template. It takes 3 parameters. Quantity, which is going to be the luggage weight. Source unit would be the unit in the table, and the target unit would be the unit which is from the parameters, which is IAM underscore unit. So I can write the unit as $parameters dot unit. We can write it in a different way also, that I'll show in just a while. convert to converted weight, let me call it, and I will specify the yeah. So this is another way of referencing the parameters. I have added another function, currency underscore conversion, which takes 4 parameters. Now let's have a look at the documentation for these functions. If I press the cursor, if I place the cursor on these functions and then press F1, it displays the documentation. Now we have unit conversion and currency conversion. So if I click unit conversion, it gives the documentation that these rules have to be maintained in this transaction for that particular client, and the details need to be maintained in T006 table. And in case there are errors, there's a parameter which is error underscore handling, which is the same for currency conversion also. In case of currency conversion, the details have to be maintained in these tables, TKIRK and TKIR table. So let me go back to the CDS. I'll activate this and let me do a data preview. Open with data preview. Let's look at the data by right clicking and selecting data preview. I will specify the currency as euro, date is 2009-0315, and unit is gram. Now if I click OK, I get an error. That is because we haven't done the error handling while calling the functions, and there are some entries for which the details are not maintained in those respective tables. So let's have a look at the documentation again. The parameter is error handling, and there are options to say set to null or keep unconverted. I'm going to use keep unconverted with this error handling. Now I've added the error handling, keep unconverted for both unit conversion and currency conversion. Let me activate this, Control F3, and now let's do a data preview and see the details. Open with data preview, currency euro 0315 and gram. Now we see that the weight is converted wherever the entries are maintained. For this one, there's nothing maintained, so the unconverted values displayed here. Likewise for currency also. Now if you notice the number of days, the parameters, the value is coming as all negative because the calculation is based on these dates. So just to get the absolute value, let me add absolute function and activate it again. Let me do a data preview. 2019-0315 and gram. Now it's coming perfectly fine. So that is how we create CDS view with parameter and functions. Next, let's write a simple ABAP program to consume this view. To create a program, I right click on the program node and select new ABAP program and give the program name ZCTS param. Click next and say finish. Now let's define three parameters and we'll pass those parameters while calling the CDS view. I have defined the parameters. Let me simply write a select statement. Select star from the CDS name and the parameters I need to specify here. The first parameter is IAMCur, which is equal to p underscore cur. Into table LTCDS CL underscore demo. We'll use this class display data LTCDS control is activated. Let me execute the program by pressing F8. Currency EUR 150319 and unit as gram. Now we got the output. That completes the demo on creation of CDS views with parameters using functions and consuming the same in an ABAP.